This song and dance welcomes us to this close-knit family. The moves and jumps are part of the rhythm. The two brothers leading this song and dance do it as if oblivious of the struggles they go through. It is a moment of temporary bliss. We arrive here, a place so near civilization, yet so far. Squatters from the Samburu community occupy the clusters of houses that you can see. The sight of visitors excites the children. They live here at the mercy of the late Gigi Kariuki's family, who can demand their exit any day. The houses are temporary structures, but these are the lucky few who can actually construct a house.
Then we have this now the
That is Peter Cheruet's house. Lilian Ntaya Moipet is 50 years old. She is the matriarch of this family. She hopes that one day she will live in a house, but for now, this is her house. The one place that is supposed to shield her from the ills of harsh weather and potential attacks from wildlife. Hers is a family of 28.
There are young children in this boma. Some, now this is the mother, the daughters, they have their own children.
And counting. She hardly speaks any Swahili. And so her son Cheruet will be the translator.
Anasema anaitwa Likipia Moripet Ntaya na ako na watoto 8 na watoto 8 kuna tena watoto wa watoto yake.
The family of 28 shares these 3 houses, but Lilian and Cheruet had to move out to different shelters, an issue that had become a serious health concern when Lilian fell sick.
Alianza kukonjeka kifua, akaanza kukohoa damu. Na wakati alianza kukohoa damu, akapelekwa hospitali. Akapelekwa hospitali kupimwa. Hospitali ya kwanza alianza Nyeri, akarudi kupata matibabu hapa Ulumuruti.
It took several visits to hospital to finally make the diagnosis and start her on treatment.
We took a sputum, which we were to send for gene expert to screen her for TB. We treated her for respiratory infection. We ruled out TB. Unfortunately, the results when came back, she had TB. So in 2016, we put her on TB treatment. Around May, we put her on TB treatment, the normal drug-sensitive TB. Then around 5 months, she didn't convert. So we had to do a culture, and we did again a gene expert. The culture came back and showed us that she has isoniazid, high-resistant TB. And that's the time we put her now on the resistant TB for isoniazid.
Aliambiwa hiyo TB wakati itaisha, akitumia madawa kwa baada ya mwezi 9 ili aweze kupona.
Living in an area with not even a passable road to reach her, her treatment was going to be an uphill task.
Asema hiyo ugonjwa kusema ukweli haikuwa rahisi kwake kwa sababu hakuwa anaweza kwenda hospitali. Wakati hiyo alikuwa madaktari anakuja kutibu kutoka nyumbani na ndipo alipata hiyo usaidizi. Alikuwa analetewa madawa kwa sababu ana nguvu ya kutembea, na pia hakuwa na gari yoyote ambaye anaweza tembea naye na kurudi. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa ngumu kwake kwenda. Sasa madaktari walikuwa wanakujia yeye kutoka nyumbani.
Her story of TB may have been easier to handle if it were only her. 3 months into her treatment, her son Cheruiyot would be the next victim.
Within that time, we felt the need to come and do screening at their homestead. When we came at their homestead, we found Peter Cheruiyot, who had also symptoms suggestive of TB. We took the sputum for all the children who are less than 5. We took for all the people who are living in that boma. Cheruiyot was also living with the mother in the same boma. He's 24 years. Unfortunately, again, his TB, we got that he has TB. And we sent a culture immediately because we were worried of the contact of the mother. Again, the culture came back. It showed us that Cheruiyot has isoniazid resistant TB.
Wakati hiyo tulikuwa tunaishi nyumba moja, ndipo sasa mimi nikapatikana tena na TB. Hata mimi pia nikaanza madawa na nikaendelea vizuri, na bado naendelea, bado sijamalizia.
Mother and son are jobless, but they needed to go to hospital and eat.
Unakomboa pikipiki ya mtu, unalipa shilingi 200 kukimbiza mpaka hospitali, na unalipa tena 200 kurudi mpaka hapa nyumbani. Sasa ilikuwa vigumu sana, na pia kwa chakula, upande ya chakula inanigharimu pesa mingi sana, kwa sababu sio mimi peke yangu nitakuja kukula hiyo chakula. Ile kitu tunapata tunakula sisi yote. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa inanigharimu pesa mingi sana, hata zaidi ya 10,000 haiwezi nitosha. Haiwezi nitosha kabisa.
The spread of the TB in the family did not end there.
Unajua tunaishi mbali moja, nyumba moja, na tunalala pamoja. Sasa hiyo wakati unakoa, hiyo hewa wanapata tu kwa sababu mko pamoja. Tuna hiyo hiyo upepo inasunguka, sisi wote tunapata hiyo TB. Tena huyu ndugu yangu akaanza kupata hiyo TB.
We came and we did another screening. Within that screening, we took the sputum for the rest, and we found Corinto. Now again, who is 17 years. We got him also to have with a gene expert that he has TB. By the virtue of being a contact of isoniazid resistant, we started him immediately on TB treatment for isoniazid resistant because he was a contact. And then we also did a culture for him. We sent it to Nairobi, which confirmed also he has isoniazid resistant.
This family of 28 has 9 of its children under the age of 5, the youngest being less than a month old. These children are actively exposed to 3 of its family members with a single drug-resistant TB and 3 others with multi-drug-resistant TB. Of the 3 with multi-drug-resistant TB, 2 are children, Ruto, who's 6 years, and Lazaro, who's 5 years. The children under 5 years are at a high risk of contracting the TB from the adults, but unfortunately, they are not candidates of the 6-month preventive therapy.
The mother and the brothers are having isoniazid resistance, so the issue of IPT, we could not give the isoniazid to the children who are under 5.
TB preventive therapy to high-risk groups like children under 5 is done using isoniazid, one of the antibiotics used in TB treatment. While treatment for uncomplicated TB takes 6 months using isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, ethambutol and streptomycin, the drug-resistant TB that Lillian and her sons had takes 9 months of relevant treatment. But that is just medicines.
Ile kitu ilikuwa inamtatiza zaidi ni njaa. Kwa kuwa hiyo madawa, wakati anakunywa madawa, ilienda ikawa hiyo uji, wakati anapata hiyo uji, sio anasikia tena njaa zaidi. Hatuna chakula ya kutosha na familia imekuwa wengi.
What was the root cause of the TB, you may ask?
Hata dada yangu huyu alikuwa kitambo. Yeye ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza sasa. Ndia wakati alikuja alikuwa anaishi huko mahali naitwa huko Sikira Ward. Alikuwa sasa akakonjeka na sasa hakuwa na bwana yake mzuri. Sasa alikonjeka tu, hakuna mtu anashughulikia. Nikaendea yeye nikalete mpaka nyumbani. Wakati tulilete nyumbani ndio sasa tukajaribu kukimbisana na yeye, kuhusia mbuzi ile tulikuwa naye kidogo, tukapeleka hospitali.
They came with multi-drug resistant. Again, we were worried because now these are an MDR patient coming to our isoniazid resistant patients.
Little did he know that coming to his sister's aid would usher them into a most difficult time.
Niling'ang'ana na yeye mwaka moja na miezi 4. Niking'ang'ana tu kutafutia yeye matibabu. Sasa wakati alirudisha huko kwa hiyo boma, alienda na nyuki. Wakati alienda na nyuki kajulikana ako na hiyo ugonjwa. Sasa wakati alijulikana akapostiwa aende Sikira dispensary, hapo sasa akaendelea kupata matibabu.
The many months spent trying to get a proper diagnosis is almost characteristic of everyone eventually diagnosed of TB. If the healthcare providers don't have a high index of suspicion, one may end up being treated for pneumonia, asthma, or other respiratory illnesses. Anything but TB.
42% of our patients, when they go to the facility, the nearest facility they go to a dispensary, a health center, a chemist, a pharmacy, and they will not be able to get diagnosis. So what happens in such cases, they are going to get maybe a cough syrup, and then they'll come next time, they'll be given an antibiotic, and they take so long before they can ever initiate that treatment. 83% of our patients are HIV negative. So we need to start looking for TB among the HIV negative. What that means is that the healthcare system needs to look at all entry points for health patients.
The entire year's struggle with TB does not end there. You see, when Bakwomi, Lazaro's mother, was unwell, her mother Lillian was also taking care of her.
Na sasa mama ndivyo akapata sasa hiyo TB wakati yeye alishaenda. Na sasa mama akakonjeka, sasa na yeye ameenda huko tena, yeye amepata matibabu, na mimi nikaingishwa, mama akaniweka mimi na mimi nikaweka ule. Sasa unaona sasa.
And it does not end there. From 4 adults, it became 6 out of the 28 family members, as the 2 children had contracted the multi-drug resistant TB from their mother Bakwomi.
It's a very unique case coming from just one family that you have 6 clients, not a drug sensitive, but with multi-drug, and another one with isoniazid resistant. You can see that despite you giving the health education, that you don't cough, the spitting, the culture of here is spitting down anywhere. But as much as we are giving the health education, we are not able to contain it in this homestead.
Mashindano ya kila siku. Sasa walikuwa wanaenda tu wanadungwa, walikuwa wanakujiwa kutoka kwa hospitali, gari naenda kudunga nyumbani, wanaendelea tu kukaa hapo. Sasa kila siku gari inakuja madaktari wanaenda kwao, wanaenda kumdunga huko.
The injections, you can imagine the children, they are also malnourished. The food insecurity in the area. It was by miracle that we were able to do because of the dots. We are able to do the dots at home. Because if you leave the MDR patients to come to the facility, you'll get the default rate. And what they'll do, they'll give others that TB. We'll experience an overhaul of a burden TB of drug resistance. You need to come to here. So we were doing community-based with the help of our CHV, who was helping us sometimes to do the dot. But the injections purely we were doing with our nurse, the one we were working with in the TB clinic. You have to come and, if it's injection, you inject them. Also the side effects, you need to close monitor the side effects.
Wakati saa hii anaona sisi tumekonjeka hiyo TB na watoto yake, anaona kabisa ni mshtuko kabisa, anastuka kwa roho kwamba hii kitu itashukua watoto yake yote. Sasa itabidi apate ako na stress mingi kwa kuwa hii ugonjwa inazidi tu kuenea kwa boma kwa moja. Sasa anasikia mshtuko kabisa.
The multi-drug resistant TB meant daily injections of antibiotics that mother and sons had to brave.
Ili hali tu Ni hii tu shida ya kutotembea, kutofanya kazi ingine, hawana hiyo nguvu ya kujiendeleza katika maisha.
Sometimes like they said they couldn't even walk because they were purely tired. There was weakness, there was loss of weight. At some point they couldn't walk. And then the side effects now they'll start escalating. We could come and supplement them with flour. So you feel that you won't give them the ratio that they require. We need to triple the ratio because if you give her the food supplement for one person, it will not be enough.
Wanapata nguvu, wanapona. Hata mimi naona mama juzi amejifungua na sasa anaendelea na matibabu kamili.
Bakumi was pregnant at the time and the risk further extended to her unborn baby.
You need an obstetric ultrasound. She didn't have that money to do an obstetric ultrasound until we intervened through the hospital and we were able to take her for the obstetric ultrasound, which showed us that the child did not have any fetal malformation.
Any woman who is pregnant, who is of childbearing age, and they find them to have TB, we advise them to go on contraceptive to prevent getting pregnant during this period. One, because the drugs they're taking are toxic and we don't want them to have children with complications at birth. And also ensure that by the time, if they decide to get pregnant, their children are not infected intrauterine or shortly after delivery. So we try to give them a lot of social support. And even if they have had a child, after the child is born, we do a lot of counseling to protect the child. We also advise that where possible they express the milk and have someone to give the milk. We anticipate that the patient will be non-infectious in a month's time. So during that period of time, the mother can express, they sit outside in the sun if they need to hold the baby and use a mask where possible, and then they should stay in a ventilated place and we separate them at night.
Something that is not practically possible for Bakumi. While direct TB treatment is free and the program hardly experiences any shortages, the indirect costs around diagnosis and follow-up can be crippling.
Some things we need to do, we don't have a chest x-ray at our facility. We have to travel all the way in Nyahururu to do a chest x-ray.
Patients are on average spending 26,000 Kenya shillings if you're just looking for TB diagnosis, the regular TB. On the other hand, a patient with drug-resistant TB will spend more than 100,000 shillings on treatment, and the duration of treatment is up to 24 months, although now for some patients it's 9 months. The drug-resistant TB patient has costs that include screening for is there organ failure, is there a liver problem, is there a problem with the kidney, do they have ulcers, how is their blood like. So as we test all this, there is a cost involved.
If you experience like now a side effect, we need to do something like audiometry because we know some of the side effects that we experience will experience ototoxicity. Their ears will have a problem when they are taking the drugs. We need to transport them all the way to Nyahururu County and Referral Hospital. We don't have an audiometry at place.
For purposes of treatment, TB patients are grouped first. New patients who have never been treated or used anti-TB medications for less than a month. They can either be sputum smear positive pulmonary TB, sputum smear negative pulmonary TB, or extrapulmonary TB, which is TB in other organs of the body, not the lungs. The second category is those previously treated for sputum positive TB, either as cases of A, relapses, B, first-line treatment failures, or C, returnees after default. The final group is drug-resistant TB cases, such as multi-drug-resistant TB, extensively drug-resistant TB, or polydrug-resistant TB.
We have 169,000 every year TB patients. Unfortunately, we are only getting around 40 to 50% of those patients every year. For example, last year, we only had 85,185 cases with TB who were found, but we are missing over 40%. They go undiagnosed and they're also going undetected. And among the children, we expect that 10% of the people who are diagnosed with TB will be children.
Almost 8,000 children were diagnosed in 2017 with drug-sensitive TB and another 24 with drug-resistant TB, representing a rise in the number of TB cases in children.
We missed more than 1,000 children if we go by that percentage.
Out of this, around 4% of the children die, a number that is, however, steadily declining.
At the point where we diagnose the mother or the person to have TB, whether it's a child, we have to go back and find the whole family, educate the family about TB, and do the original screening. Thereafter, after 3 months, we do another screening as per the guideline, and then at 6 months, and thereafter every 6 months for 2 years. That's for drug-resistant TB, 1 year for MDR TB. For normal TB.
Wanakuja kutuletea unga ya uji na wanakuja kutuletea madawa. Wanakujia wanapima na pia wanaangalia baada ya miezi 3.
If you get an MDR patient or a resistant drug patient, whichever resistance they have, if we got an isolation in our place that we are able to put, if we got Ntaya as the first contact in this family and we put her maybe in our hospital where we have an isolation, probably she wouldn't have infected because she was at close contact with the other children. If we got an isolation, still it would be a stepping stone and a milestone, and we would avert the infection, the reinfection in that family. Maybe we would have just treated 2 at most, but not 6. 6 is too much.
Children, because of their low immunity, are a vulnerable group, but they are not the only ones likely to get TB.
The refugee population and mobile population has been known to have a higher burden of TB, and particularly the ones who are coming from countries that have a high burden of TB. So they will come with a chance of having TB, so those ones have to be screened. We know TB is common among the young men. So these are the men in schools, university, joining the job market, in the industrial area places. They're basically everywhere, and they're also looking for services at Huduma Center and everywhere else. So we want to target Huduma Centers to provide TB screening, because these young men, we need to find them. The university people are young, they're excited, but they don't know much about TB. So we also want to have messages for them to understand TB.
TB for quite a long time has been associated with HIV infection, something that has also created stigma around TB infection.
We have a lot of stigma in the community. People don't want to be known that they have TB. So nobody wants to go out there and say, I have TB and this are the symptoms and this is where you can find it. And the ones who have TB also have self-stigma. And some of them will even go for HIV tests severally to find out whether for sure they have HIV or not. Others will be afraid to say they have TB because it will automatically be associated with HIV. And because of that fear, people do not want to come out and get tested, or when they are told they have TB, they want not to access treatment.
The healthcare providers too contribute to this misconception.
There are a lot of healthcare workers who think TB ended, or maybe TB is still among the HIV positive. So we have done a lot of work in finding TB among the HIV positive, and I think we still need to continue finding TB among the HIV positive. But as the study showed, anybody coming to the healthcare facility needs to go through some screening to see whether they have TB or not.
Tutazidi tu kuambukizana, kwa sababu sio kitu ambaye inashukuliwa na upepo. Sasa mimi nikipata, huyu anapata. Sasa ikiendelea namna hiyo, mimi naona hiyo ndio itakuwa vigumu sana na itakuwa stress zaidi.
There are poor ventilation, overcrowding in the area, poverty at its best now. They need to share their bed. The person who is MDR, purely multi-drug resistant, is living with a child even who is not TB infected. So in future, we are expecting this child might come around with the same TB. Again, another one with isoniazid resistant is living with an MDR. We are even worried that is this isoniazid resistant might convert and get now the rifampicin resistant.
For the Ntayas, when it rains, it pours.
Na huyu Korinto pia shule imefukuzwa yeye. Karo ya shule inatakikana ya mpishi, kitu kama hii pesa ya mtihani, vitu kama hiyo, na saa hii mali imeisha, hakuna hata kitu ya kugharimu yeye katika kwa hiyo shule. Hatuna hata chochote. Naona hii watoto hata wako shule juu hatukuwa na uwezo. ile kitu tulikuwa naye imeisha. Korinto ako darasa la 7 na ule anaitwa Hussein ako darasa la 6 na mwingine mtoto ya huyu msichana wa kwanza ako class 1 na hao watoto wadogo wake wako class nursery. Saa hii wako nyumbani wote. Hakuna ile mtoto saa hii tutasema tuko na uwezo ya kusomesha yeye. Sasa hii watoto yote hakuna ile tunaweza sasa kusomesha, wako nyumbani.
If they could get somewhere that is nice, a place that they could call their own, and a house that could be built with good ventilation, with good sanitation. You can see there is nowhere we have a toilet here, so they are going anywhere. You can imagine now that even the small children, the elderly. So if we could get something done, at least something that one would protect.
For a family that knows nothing better than this, expecting them to spend 145,000 Kenya shillings or $1,450 in other direct and indirect medical costs for each of the 3 members with multi-drug resistant TB can only mean one thing, that the vicious cycle of poverty will know no end. Dr. Mercy Korir for KTN News in Laikipia West Sub-County, Laikipia County.